Hey everybody, it's Barbara. And as promised, this is the final doll of the limited edition series for the Integrity Toys Convention Fashion Fairy Tale. It is, fittingly enough, since it's the last one, the rarest of all, Ayumi. A couple of things about Ayumi before I get into the real review of her. Um, I have not bought an Ayumi previously, as I do not usually buy Kyoris. That is because I have an issue that if you're going to give me an Asian doll, she should look Asian. And there have been times where Ayumi has not. There have been times when Kiori has not. So I decided that I was not going to work with a doll that was not true to ethnicity. In this case, Ayumi, this now brings me to Ayumi, rarest of all. Supposedly a takeoff on Mulan, and if you're a Disney fan, you know that Mulan heroine has had problems both in the animated form and as she appears in the ABC series Once Upon a Time. Feminist questions aside, nationalities aside, because I don't believe Ayumi is supposed to be Chinese. I'm not sure. I will look that up and get back to you later in the video. But for right now, let's actually just look at someone who happens to be one of the prettier dolls from the convention. So as always, we are going to start at the top. I'm going to move her closer, and I'm going to lift the camera. And we're first going to look at her headdress, which slips on like a headband. It is metallic silver. It is quite lovely. It is in a floral and leaf pattern on one side, with beading at the very bottom, and more leaves than flowers on the left-hand side, with again the beading at the bottom. A very simple earring, almost, I hate to say it and put it this way, it's almost like a piece of a paper clip that broke. But I think that's to go with the metallic hardware of her headpiece. Her makeup is going to very closely reflect the primary color of her top. They are, at the very top of the brow, there's almost nothing. And then the very hot pink shadow will match. Let me put some light on this so you can see. The very hot pink of her shadow matches her top, as I said. And I believe the lining around her eye might actually be more navy than black to match the navy trim of her top, which we will see much more of in a second. Her lips are about as full as I've ever seen FR line lips to be, and they're in sort of like a pucker kiss position. There's a bit of contouring at her cheek, and as always, and as has been the case, her lashes are applied, and they're very long, and they're very lovely. And she's definitely got a very fixed, purposed expression on her face. Going down a little bit, I'm going to show you her top, which is what we would kind of consider a crop top with kimono sleeves. Again, the same, that hot pink fuchsia that I told you about, trimmed in navy. It is lined, which I will show you again here at the sleeve. For some reason, she has a ring. She didn't need it. I think the ornament and the jewelry enough was her headpiece. And this is gold. Her headpiece is silver, as are her earrings. So that was kind of like a, huh, for me? but I guess they wanted her to have a piece that you could mix and match with. I'm going to show you here the cut of her skirt, which very interestingly, first of all, kind of hard to see, or maybe not so hard to see. First of all, the flower that's her ring is the flower that is imprinted in this skirt. It is cut in this tripod way, the same way, if you remember and you saw the cape Eugenia wore. It had cuts in it that were similar to this. So that was an interesting choice to repeat. It ties at the top with almost like a drawstring. But truth be told, if I can quickly turn her back. And I will gently pull back her hair. The skirt and the top both close with hook and eye, which means this is not a wraparound skirt, this is not a wraparound top. And just because we're here, what I will do is I will lift her up, I will pull back the skirt, and I will show you, not quite sure what to make out of these shoes. I mean, there are elements of, if you remember in the old Kung Fu movies, the exaggerated sandals that they would wear in the Kung Fu movies that they would slip off before they actually started to fight. So that's the kind of clunk this reminds me of, both at the base, at the ball of the foot, and the heel. It's quite exaggerated. The material itself is the fuchsia and navy of the top. The inside of the shoe is the same color as the back heel, which is a purple. And the heel and the exaggerated platform are also navy. So in one sense, it's a very interesting combination of repeating the colors that you see in her ensemble, and also a nod to the old Kung Fu movies and the style of shoe that the martial arts masters and mistresses would wear. So I'm going to put this down. I was pausing for a moment to think, do I think it should have been, do I think that these should have been the shoes? Should they have been more sandals? Perhaps, but again, there was supposed to be, this is also, it's not just the fairy tale, it's also fashion, so this was a fashion take on it. When I'm looking at it, and I don't want to be negative because I really do love her face sculpt, but it's this drawstring. It's like, really? If the skirt wasn't so fashionized with the split, then I might say, okay, I get the drawstring. But it's like they're mixing the martial art with the fashion, and it's kind of just not pinging right with me. I do want to go back again and look at that ring and correct myself that the ring is not gold, it is silver. And I'm sorry that I said that it was. It is definitely silver now that I'm looking at it again. So, interestingly, this is her ensemble. This is how she looks. Unlike the other dolls, she does come with an extra set of hands, which I'm going to show you here. Now, these are supposed to be easier for her to grip. The question is, what can she grip? Let's have some fun with this. Previously, I have reviewed Deadpool, the Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure. This is his katana. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know katana is native to Japan. Mulan is not. So, ouch. And by the way, this does have a point. We're going to see if she can hold the katana with the other set of hands. And how is that going to look? So let's pause here. Let me reset her up, and let's see how that looks. Okay, so through the magic of editing and pausing the video, I was able to put the katana in her hand using the elastic that we've been getting, holding the silicone packet to the accessory box. So if you've ever wondered what to do with those extra elastic bands, now you have a reason. You can use it to wrap an accessory around the hand. As it turns out, the span, if you look, I'll take this out and I'll show you. The span with what is usually the holding hand, the span between the thumb and the other fingers is not wide enough with the second set of hands. But if you go back to the original hands, the hands she has on, she can and does hold the katana. It doesn't quite, I couldn't figure out, and I didn't want to fiddle too much with it. She can hold the katana. You would have to wrap it around. There's probably a trick to how to wrap it around, but it will work, and she will hold the katana. This leads me to believe that if you go back many years ago to another convention when Kiori had a sort of boyfriend that was sort of a spy, and he came with a sword, I suspect Ayumi, who is, by the way, a mix of Japanese and something else, so it is appropriate for her to hold a katana. If you go back and you look for that sword, I suspect she will be able to hold it. And yes, if you can find a sword like this, one of the Deadpool accessories, she can hold the katana, which I think would be an interesting accessory for her to have. Let's just, now that I'm thinking about it, let's just play one more time with something else. I'm going to pull the camera back. I'm going to pull this forward. I'm just goofing around here at this point. I just want to see if something can happen here without hurting her or the suit too much. What I am trying to do is sort of Wonder Woman-esque. I'm going to try to stick, which doesn't appear to be working as planned. I should have tried this. Why is it getting stuck? I'm trying to stick the katana down her back, but for some reason, it's getting stuck. Let's try it here and down. Here we go. So the answer is no, you don't want to do what I'm trying to do, which is stick the katana down her back. It won't go. You will wind up breaking seams, so don't do that. But the lovely, lovely Ayumi will hold the katana, and she will be ready for battle. So for the lady and her sword, and for me, I hope you've enjoyed this lovely review of the Fashion Fairy Tale line, or at least parts of it. This concludes Fashion Fairy Tale with Rarest of All. Next up, we are going to go back to the Riviera with Vanessa. And then comes the really exciting stuff, the club dolls. So I will see you guys quite a bit in the next few days. So hang in there and have a good day. Bye-bye.